Hi guys, thought I'd take you on a walk with me today. Right, so where are we? We're at the end of week 14 of taking 100 milligrams of sertraline to treat triple PD and CPTSD. I'm just out by the lakes having a walk alone. It's pretty cold. This week has been confusing, tiring, and I've just been feeling pretty fed up, to be honest with you, because a number of different factors. I've had a symptom drift, so I had tinnitus for ages. It was doing my head in, so that's gone now, which is great. But now I've developed eye strain, blurred vision, fatigue and eye twitching. So my vision's perfect. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my vision. I've had eye tests and eye scans only a couple of months ago to determine that my eyes are in fact fine. So yeah, I'm confused as to why that's happened, but at the same time I know that blurred vision is part of anxiety and stress, so I'm trying not to be afraid of it. And however, it could be that the meds are too strong for me. So I did speak to the audiologist. I managed to get a telephone appointment the other day, and I explained to him what had happened, and he said, okay, has this vision thing got worse since you went up to 100? And I said, to be honest, it's hard to say, because I have had blurred vision before, but it wasn't as dominant as it is now. And he said sometimes that can be a side effect of the medication. But I just want to make sure that you're physically okay, so can you go for an eye test? So I've just had one. I've just had a scan as well. He said, no, I'd like you to go back, because sertraline can cause eye problems, and if that's the case, we need to change your medication. I thought, oh, here we go. Anyway, then he said, if it turns out your eyes are okay, then we need to look at perhaps changing a dose and moving it down to 50. I thought, don't know about that, because 50 didn't really cut it for me. As far as the anxiety is concerned, I'm not talking about dizziness, I'm talking about the anxiety and the CPTSD here. It didn't really cut it. I knew I needed stronger. So I just left that. I said, okay, and I just parked it. And I thought to myself, right, okay, what am I going to do now? Because I've got 3 different people that manage me. I've got an audiologist who deals with dizziness and the ears and everything else. And then I've got the psychiatrist who deals with the CPTSD, and he's really good with meds. So I tried to get an appointment with him next week. And hopefully I can get a half an hour chat with him and update him on how I'm doing, explain the side effects and see what he recommends. I guarantee it'll be different to what the audiologist says. But anyway, I'm going to go with that. And then I'm also going to make an appointment with my GP to discuss having HRT, because so this is why I've been confused this last week. Not only have I had these more intense visual symptoms, which haven't been pleasant, and the fatigue, which I'm not used to, I had a counselling session on Friday, and this is the second one with this particular counsellor. Now, this particular counsellor is to tackle the cancer that I've had in the past, because when I had one-to-ones with Yoni Arthur, the steady coach, back in 2021, she recommended that I did go back and deal with that and, put it to bed once and for all, because I never got help, therapy. I had to deal with a lot of it on my own at the time. I was 23 years old when I got cancer in 2003, and yeah, it was a hard time, but I just got on with it. I didn't have any counselling, and I pushed everything down. And she said that she thinks that that's where the hypervigilance has come from, and why I've become chronically dizzy, because my brain is used to being in danger. It's telling me that, the PPPD that I got from the vaccine was unsafe. My brain got scared, and then the dizziness became chronic. So I knew that I had to tackle it at some stage. So I thought now was a good time, because I was on 100 milligrams. I thought now's a good time to go into it. So anyway, long story short, this is the second session that I had with her on Friday. And the first session, she obviously wanted to know a bit about my background, what I was talking to her for, what my symptoms were. But bear in mind, she's just a counsellor. She's not, she can't diagnose anybody. Anyway, so I told her all that last week, and then this week she opened the session with, how have you been this week? I said, well, not good really. I said, new symptoms, blah, 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 everything I've just told you. And she said, right, I've been reading something and I'd like you to read it too. And then she got this book in front of the screen and went, and it's called Menopausing by Davina McCall, who's a English presenter, TV presenter. And I just sort of looked blank, like, right. And she said, well, you know, I really recommend you read it because the symptoms you've got are very similar to menopause, perimenopause. And I was like, okay, I'm open-minded, but, you know, that's not really why I'm here. That's not what I'm talking to you about. I said, and I have actually had blood tests to see if I'm perimenopausal. Because to be honest with you, you know, I'm 45 years old now. I'm at the sort of age where the perimenopause starts. And yes, some of the symptoms are like perimenopause. You know, the hot flushes, the sweats, the night sweats, visual problems, tinnitus. They're all part of the brain changing. But they're also part of this TMS stuff that I've been learning about and following for so long. So it's left me really confused, thinking, God, have I actually got, you know, so many things going on at once? Grief, post-traumatic stress from the past, now this constant dizziness, which really isn't a diagnosis, it's just something that tells us how we're feeling all the time. And now you're telling me that I'm perimenopausal. So anyway, I got the book on Audible, started listening to it, and I can see there's a lot of similarities, but I'm not sure. However, I'm not going to steer off the path of the mind-body approach, because I know you can recognise what happened that got you in this state. I know that vaccine, the second one, 4 days afterwards, I started spinning. My head started spinning, and I have been tested and been told it was PPPD. A crystal had dislodged in my inner ear into the horizontal ear canal, and it happened 4 times. The crystal was rolling around my ear. I didn't know what was wrong. Because of my past cancer and health scares, I freak out because my nervous system was already in a terrible state because my mum had died and I had a load of stress on at the time. And my brain's gone into danger mode and protection mode. And it's created dizziness to protect me in some weird way. I get that. I totally get that. However, I've got so many other symptoms going on, which again, I know can be all part of this thing, this whole mind-body disorder thing. But it could also be menopause. So now I'm thinking, well, maybe I need to go to the GP next week and say, right, I'm 45 now. I'm presenting with hot sweats, hot flushes, disturbed sleep, tinnitus, blurred vision. I'm on sertraline. I've got PTSD. I've got chronic dizziness. Blah, blah, blah. But do I need HRT? Because if it turns out that a lot of this is because I have a depletion in estrogen. Now, Nat Flo, who follows my channel, she'll hear me here, right? Because we've both been talking about this. Whenever, like, we get an increase in symptoms just before and after our periods. I don't know how old she is, but you can be perimenopausal from like 30, 35 and not even know it because it's so subtle. And I'm thinking, the problems are always around my periods. Look, so if you look back at my videos, you'll see how many times I mention I've had my period, I'm back to square one. Now, it could just be a hormone imbalance. I'm not saying this isn't what I think it is and what we all know it to be. What I'm saying is that if there's a hormone imbalance and all it needs is a hormone replacement therapy to help me get rid of these symptoms I'm experiencing and feel more balanced, then why wouldn't I want to try that? So I'm going to speak to a doctor, see if he can put me on some HRT patches, because it might just be that my estrogen's depleting. I'm on the pill, so I'm getting progesterone, but women also produce testosterone. I don't know if you know that, but we do in our ovaries. So yeah, even though I've been checked, my bloods have been checked, apparently that doesn't necessarily mean you're not perimenopausal, because the levels can fluctuate throughout the month. So, excuse me, it's really cold. So that could be why I've just been tested at the wrong time when my levels were normal. So it's something worth considering, and I'm going to link in the description to the book that I've been reading. So any women out there around my age, if you're experiencing funny symptoms, it's good to know what to look out for. And if there's a hormone that can make you, when it's completely natural, there's if it can help you, why wouldn't you want to take it? So that's where I'm at the moment. Let's see what happens next week. I'm also going to link in the description a video for you to watch by Dan Buglio, who has the channel called Pain Free You. He had a video the other day that caught my eye, and it was titled Recovery from Fear. And he talks about this woman. I mean, he generally talks about people with chronic pain, but he does say chronic pain or other symptoms. And this woman was writing to thank him, saying that she's recovered from chronic pain because she made a conscious decision just to not be afraid of the pain anymore. She decided to just let go. She was done being afraid of the symptoms, and eventually they just faded away. It took her about 3 months, but once she actually made that conscious decision and let go of the tension, which is what Claire Weeks says in her books, the symptoms just went away. So I'm going to link it in the description, guys, and see what you think of it. And let's see how I go next week in regards to the meds, because I might need to come down, might need to change medication. I have no idea. But I'm just hoping for a better week next week. It's not a linear process, we know that, recovery. But I'm definitely better than I was last year. And I'm really looking forward to summer, so that's a good thing. Anyway, love you guys. Speak to you later. Take care. Bye.